And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Tawbah, chapter number 9, verse number 6, that if the enemies, if the non-Muslims in the battlefield, if they seek asylum, don't just grant it to them, escort them to a place of security. Any army general, the maximum he can do to the enemies, he can say, go, you are free. But the glorious Quran goes a step further and says that do not just grant them freedom, escort them to a place of security. Because there are chances that other people will attack them. So Arun Shuri and other critics of Islam, they skip verses and they misquote the glorious Quran. And if you go on the internet, you do not have to be a scholar to misquote the Quran. You'll find several allegations, but all of them, they are either mistranslations or quotations out of context. So such critics of Islam, they misquote the glorious Quran. The third strategy used by the media is that they say certain things which are alien to Islam. For example, they say Islam is an unscientific religion. And one of the famous Bangladeshi writers by the name of Taslima Nasreen, she says that the glorious Quran says that the sun, it revolves around the earth. So how can the Muslims believe in such an unscientific book? How will they advance if they believe in such an unscientific book? What she is referring to is a verse of the glorious Quran from Surah Anbiya, chapter number 21, verse number 33. وَهُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارَ. It is Allah who has created the night and the day. وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ. The sun and the moon. كُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. Each in its orbit, moving in its own motion. So the glorious Quran is saying that the sun, the moon, and the earth, they are moving in their own motion, in their own orbits. Nowhere does the glorious Quran say that the sun, it revolves around the earth. I challenge any human being to point out a single place when the glorious Quran says that the sun, it revolves around the earth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the sun, the moon, and the earth, each of them are moving in their own orbit. So this is the third strategy. They say certain things which are alien to Islam. And the fourth strategy used by the media is that they say certain things and they say because of this, Islam is a problem for humanity. And they say that Muslims are fundamentalists, Muslims are terrorists, Islam is an intolerant religion. And we Muslims, we get apologetic. No, Islam is not an intolerant religion, but rather we should use a strategy of turn the tables over. The media says that Muslims are fundamentalists. What is the meaning of the word fundamentalist? Fundamentalist by definition means a person who follows the fundamentals of a particular subject. For example, for a person to be a good mathematician, he should know, follow, and strive to practice the fundamentals of maths. Unless he's a fundamentalist in the field of maths, he cannot be a good mathematician. For a person to be a good scientist, he should know, follow, and strive to practice the fundamentals of science. Unless he's a fundamentalist in the field of science, he cannot be a good scientist. You cannot paint all fundamentalists with the same brush, that all are good or all are bad. Depending upon which field the person is a fundamentalist, you have to label him accordingly. For example, there's a fundamentalist robber. He's a bane for the society. On the other hand, there's a fundamentalist doctor. He's a boon for the society. As far as I am concerned, I am a fundamentalist Muslim, and I am proud to be a fundamentalist Muslim. Because I know and I strive to practice the fundamentals of Islam. And I know that there is not a single fundamental of Islam which is against humanity as a whole. I challenge any human being to point out a single fundamental of Islam which is against humanity as a whole. There may be some fundamentals which some people might think they're against humanity. But the moment you give the logical background, there is not a single fundamental of Islam which is against humanity as a whole.